Do the New York Knicks have a plan when it comes to finding the first Tom Thibodeau replacement? Everywhere you look on social media, whether it's Knicks Twitter, Knicks YouTube, or just the Knicks internet, every single person is saying, how could you fire Tom Thibodeau with no plan? And we're going to react to that on today's show as you're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. If you've been sleeping under a rock, you've missed the news. The New York Knicks have gone out and asked to interview not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 coaches that are currently employed by other NBA teams. They asked the Dallas Mavericks if they could interview Jason Kidd, and the Mavs told them no. They asked if they could interview Ime Udoka, and the Rockets told them no. And Chris Finch and the T-Wolves told them no. And the newest news of the day, Quin Snyder of the Atlanta Hawks, the Hawks blocked that interview, and Billy Donovan of the Chicago Bulls, they also said no. And what a surprise. Why would any NBA team give the New York Knicks permission to interview their active head coach? That makes no sense. But it doesn't make no sense for the New York Knicks to ask those coaches. And I'll explain that further, but I just want to react to what Sir Charles Barkley had to say about the New York Knicks, because when Charles speaks about the Knicks, it's always the most thought-provoking quotes, and he absolutely knows this team better than anyone, saying the Knicks got to be the stupidest damn people in the world. You don't fire no good coach like that and don't have a plan. I mean, Tibbs did a hell of a job. Obviously, something's going on there. You don't have a plan? And now 3 coaches have turned you down? You've got to have a plan, man. And they don't have a plan. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Oh, Charles. Yeah, the Knicks have no plan, right? Yep. Leon Rose, the most forward-thinking executive in all of sports, has no plan for the New York Knicks. And I just want to bring on my guy, producer Alper, on the show. And Alper, I just want to say this. Crazy thought here. Let me know if I'm getting too crazy. The first step of the New York Knicks plan is to see if any employed coaches that they like would be willing to leave their team. I know, crazy thought, but maybe that's step 1 of the plan, right?
And the thing that I thought of the most is, what do you have to lose? Oh, they say no? It's the end of the world. But you're telling me that 2 weeks after the Knicks fire their coach, it's still June. We have until September, October until they're back on the court. You're telling me that they're supposed to hire a coach within a week? You're supposed to interview the guys right away? No, take in a little bit. Learn what you want. Get your candidates and then go out and interview them. Like Charles Barkley, he's just talking to talk.
I know we always say this on the channel, process over results. So my question would be to Charles Barkley, what if the Dallas Mavericks granted permission for the Knicks to interview Jason Kidd? Would they still not have had a plan? Or do they just not have a plan because no team said that they could interview them? And also, how long did it just take for all of the other head coaching jobs to be filled in the NBA? Exactly. We saw the Phoenix Suns take the entire playoffs that they didn't even make. And we also know Leon Rose, last time he had to hire a coach for the New York Knicks, it took him 7 weeks.
Yes, 7
did
weeks.
We expect 8 days later the Knicks to have their next head coach? I don't understand how you can say they have no plan when the plan could not be more obvious. Let's see if we can poach any coach that we love that works for their team.
Exactly.
It's also funny that it's Game 3 of the NBA Finals, and every single A block of every single sports media show is talking about the Knicks.
It's all they care about. It's like, what are they going to do? Oh, they're a joke. They're doing this. I don't really care about this finals. I don't care at all. But, can we just not talk about the Knicks? Can we just be calm in our coaching search? For the love of God.
It's a bit ridiculous. And something that I just don't really understand is, what do they want the Knicks to do? To not cast a wide net? To not try to turn over every stone? And, did we forget what happened in 1995 when Pat Riley sent a fax to the New York Knicks quitting to go work and coach and manage the Miami Heat? Maybe the Knicks are trying to do that. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Also, to be told no. I keep on seeing people on Twitter say, oh, this is embarrassing for the New York Knicks. How is it embarrassing?
Yeah, what's
what
wrong
is
here?
Embarrassing about it? I don't get it.
There's nothing embarrassing about it. They're trying to find their new coach. And I know damn well, let's say the Knicks did hire a coach. Like, let's say they just hired Johnny Bryant right after a week. I bet you Charles Barkley would be like, oh, the Knicks are a joke. They went way too quick into this coaching search. They have a guy that's never been a head coach before. Like, it's say Knicks for clicks. They're going to talk negatively about them no matter what they do.
Also, it's like every single show that's saying the Knicks have no plan are the same shows that said 3 months ago, Tibbs plays the starters too many minutes, man. Tibbs is going to get this team hurt. But now that the Knicks have fired that coach, it's now turned into he was the best coach in the world. They never should have fired him. It's too much. 180, the 540 that every single person is doing on the Knicks is pretty funny to me. And also, Alpert, since they have no plan, why on earth is there now emerging interest in Mike Brown? Like, I thought the Knicks had no plan.
No plan whatsoever. It's unbelievable. Like, I trust Leon Rose. He's not going to go in thinking, all right, we got to do this right away, or we're just going to fire Tibbs and just see what happens.
You don't get any trophies for hiring a coach quicker. You only get a trophy if you hire the right coach. And Leon Rose knows he has to hire the right coach because usually when you're the head of basketball operations, you're the GM, you get to fire one guy. You don't usually get to fire two and hire three. So looks like the Knicks are on to – and also, just because you don't get the preferred candidate, and who knows if those employed coaches are the preferred candidate, just looks that way because that's the news that came out first. Just because you don't get those guys doesn't mean you don't have a plan. Sometimes in life, even if you have a plan, you don't get the people that you want the most. Crazy thought, I know. Like actually some sense and rational takes about the New York Knicks. Mike Brown has emerged as a head coaching candidate for the New York Knicks. We broke down that yesterday. There's another coach I want to talk about in a second. But first, I just want to ask everybody out there, what's your confidence level in Leon Rose? No plan Leon is what the big J's out there and Charles Barkley are calling him. Scale from 1 to 10. 1 being you're not confident, 10 you got the most confidence. I'm firmly out at 8.5. I have no reason not to believe in him. He's batting at least 85% on the moves that he made, and I think that he probably should have won Executive of the Year this offseason and maybe even a couple of years before that.
He's never proved me wrong before, so why should I have distrust in him now? I'd go like 8, 7.5, 8, not even a 9. I trust him in finding the right coach. I don't want him to get a coach right now. Take your time, find your candidate, just like you did in 2020. And after we hired Tibbs in 2020, we became relevant again. So I think Leon Rose will do the right thing.
I also want the New York Knicks to request Eric Spoelstra and Steve Kerr. And I want them to request all 29 other coaches in the NBA. Because you know why? It doesn't matter if they say no. Like, nothing changes. And also, the Knicks can still pursue Jason Kidd if they want. This isn't like, I know James like, a firm rejection. Like, what were they supposed to say? Coddle him and tap him on the butt? Nope, can't interview. Like, This
is how much of a joke it is. Ian Begley, I think he tweeted out either this morning or last night. He said, the Knicks have not requested an interview for Steve Kerr. That's how much they want to talk about this right now. That they're talking about coaches that the Knicks haven't requested an interview for.
As long as they don't request Doc Rivers, I'll be okay. Just don't.
Him or Darvin Ham, please, for the love of God, no.
That's ridiculous. We got more to talk about in a second. First, though, I got to tell you about our proud sponsor, Factor. Go to factormeals.com/NicksChat50 off to get 50% off your first order today. All that information will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. Summer is here, which means we got to be outside soaking up the sun and not wasting endless hours in the grocery store, in the kitchen, cleaning up the kitchen, and all that nonsense. That's where Factor Meals comes in. You get to pick your pre-made meals, which are prepped and cooked to perfection, and they take 2 minutes to heat them up in the microwave. They have options for breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks, smoothies, and so much more. Fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved, and they are extremely tasty. I'm a big fan, and my life is better when I have Factor in the fridge at home because I get to maximize my time. And in the summer, I want to be somewhere outside, soaking up the sun, at a pool, having fun with the fellas, instead of being in the house cooking all day, every day. So get hooked up with Factor. Go to factormeals.com/NicksChat50 off. That is factormeals.com/NicksChat50 off. Use that promo code. Get 50% off your box today. and we'll also hook you up with free shipping. Shout out to Factor. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Be a real one. Yesterday on the show, Alpera, we told everybody what James L. Edwards did, that Mike Brown and now Taylor Jenkins are emerging as candidates for the New York Knicks despite them having no plan. And now The Athletic has doubled down on that report. Also, Ian Begley told Jonathan Macri of Knicks Film School, shout out to them, doing awesome work over there, that Mike Brown could be a candidate. And I want to get your thoughts on Mike in a second. We'll just read this quote from The Athletic, Sam Amick, saying, league sources say there is an increased focus for the Knicks on two former coaches who don't require permission to pursue. I can't believe he wrote that. Mike Brown, last with the Sacramento Kings, and Taylor Jenkins, formerly of the Memphis Grizzlies. There could certainly be more names of available head coaches, like, are you kidding me, emerging soon, as a league source said. The Knicks are planning on finalizing that list in the coming days. Did I read that right? The Knicks are planning on finalizing that list in the coming days. How can you be planning for something if you have no plan? But that's why TNT is losing the rights to cover the NBA, and we're all hoping that Charles Barkley isn't on ESPN too much.
Yeah, please, God, no.
It's ridiculous. I'm sick of it, and I want the Knicks to hire a coach just so everybody could just shut up talking about it. But I did a full video on those two guys. We got some stats, and we don't have to go to those. But overall, I feel like those are safe hires. I think Mike Brown kind of has a bad stench around him, but I think he's, from a resume-wise, like, sticks out a lot more than others. He's been a part of 4 NBA Finals winners. He's coached under Steve Kerr, coached under Greg Popovich. He's coached LeBron James. He's coached Tim Duncan. He's coached Steph Curry. He maximized the two-man game in Sacramento. They had the number 1 offense in the league 2 years ago, but it just feels safe. And I'm not sure Mike Brown is the guy to get you over the hump when you already had a really high floor coach in Tom Thibodeau.
It's kind of like it's the same thing as with Mike Malone. It's a lot of these guys have Tibbs tendencies, but with Mike Brown, what I saw him do with the Kings, who I thought were a mediocre team, and took that offense from here to here, that's something that really intrigues me. But he's one of those guys just been recycled all throughout the league from the last 15 years. I remember I saw a picture on my phone when I saw he was a candidate, and it was just them making fun of him, saying he has no idea what he was doing because he really doesn't. He's not your true X's and O's type of guy, but he doesn't really have a good defensive mindset. But I love his offense, so that would be a plus for the Knicks. And Taylor Jenkins, I think he just got a bad rap in Memphis. Like, it was like you had to deal with all the jaw stuff, and when they were fully healthy and you had no distractions, they were a good team. They were a 2 seed in the West. So it would be another, like you called it, safe hire.
Yeah, like both these coaches have had recent success. The Grizzlies have been the 2 seed. The Kings were the 3 seed a couple of years ago. The reason I like both these guys is, I think, like I said, I think they would be successful coaches, but I wonder if, and like, how many of those guys are out there? How many do those coaches give the Knicks a competitive advantage every single day? Are we going to go into this conference finals and say Mike Brown's out coaching Rick Carlisle? Mike Brown's out coaching the Thunder head coach? Like, and I think if you're going to fire Tom Thibodeau, that's kind of what you got to look for. And then a report came out today that the Knicks with Tom Thibodeau didn't even scrimmage, and they didn't practice late game situations. And I'm sure that never happened. I don't know what the Knicks are going to do. Do you have any idea? If you had to put money on someone today, who would it be?
If I had to put I still think it's going to be Johnny Bryant just because the favorites, but they haven't even interviewed. They haven't interviewed anybody yet.
Yep.
So it's up in the air. But it's clear that they want a head coach. It doesn't look like they want an assistant unless they have to. And you've seen all the reports that they could even go in and talk to college coaches. So I think that they're set on hiring a guy that's been a head coach before rather than bring in someone that's an assistant and is going to learn the game as he goes and kind of give him a chance. It's a guy that's already gotten his chance and has been that head coach in either the league or in college.
Begley wrote some this morning saying it's obvious to say at this point, but the Knicks clearly didn't have a shoe-in replacement in mind when they fired Tom Thibodeau. And a lot of people out there have said, how on earth could you fire Tom Thibodeau if you didn't know the replacement? Are you supposed to stay with your wife, your significant other, or whoever you may be dating if you've already realized it's not going to work out just because you don't know who is next. You don't operate in any fashion of life like that. Once you've realized situation A, work, relationships, friendships aren't worth your time and aren't going to maximize yourself, you don't just stay there because you don't know what's next. Like, the discourse around the New York Knicks makes me want to vomit.
Did they expect the Knicks to be looking for a head coach during the Eastern Conference Finals? Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, my God. He says these requests for permissions get leaked out because of the formal nature of the process. It gives off the impression that Leanne Rose and co. are flying blind on this coaching search, but league sources familiar with the Knicks thinking pushback against that narrative. When the Knicks requested permission to speak to Kidd, Finch, Udoka, and others, they are doing their due diligence, making sure they know exactly who and isn't available. Seems like a great idea to me.
I love it.
Let's see if someone can shake free. I hope they go request to speak to Eric Spoelstra.
Please.
Let's get our lick back from 1995. I don't know who the next coach is, and to be honest with you, I don't even know who I want at this point. So I'm calling on the real ones to help me out in the comments section. Who do you want to coach the Knicks next year and hopefully the next 5 or 10 years? Give me a name and make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up. Click that thumbs up icon on your way out. Subscribe, and let's go Knicks.